Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here, and welcome to another Honkai Star Rail video. So thank you so much for the feedback on the CM Bros tier list for the characters. And a lot of you guys have asked for a Lightcone tier list from the CN community. Well, here it is. We've done some digging, and here are the Lightcone tier list for all of the characters. And we have four different sources, because we got the combat data to back up some of the tier list rankings as well. And so I will bring you the CN community tier list for the Lightcones across all these four guide videos, and let's take a look at what our CM Bros are cooking. And of course, you can see they did a lot of exclusive testing, and we'll be breaking down the video into different paths, starting out of course with the Hunt's path, because if we don't break this down, it's gonna take forever. I did try a previous recording and it was like 30 to 40 minutes. So in this video I'll be talking about the Hunt's path, as well as this is the preservation path, because these two paths right now I think are the easiest to use, especially if you want to beat simulated universe. You either go straight hunts with your Zele, or you go to straight preservation with your Fire MC or Gepard. So I think this is the best place to get things started. Of course, you can see I've created a tier list maker or tier maker on the side, so that we can compile all of the different CN tier list and see what they have to say and find the common ground between all of them. And that's how we are going to proceed in this video, so that we get the best of all of these different resources. So let's start off with the Hunt's path. Well, in the Hunt's path, we can talk about Zele. Of course, Zele is our favorite character for hunts, and she is absolutely a beast, even stronger than CPT3, I would say. And her cone, Light into the Night, or in the Night, sorry, I'm butchering the name. We can actually see that in the game. I've got a copy. It's called In the Night. Yeah, In the Night is extremely strong Lightcone, and it ranks at the top best ink slot for all of the hunt units at SSS tier. Okay, as you can see in the combat testing, In the Night actually ranks #1 for every single hunt character, not just Zele, for Danghang, for Sushan, and for Yanking, at the very top. That's how good it is. Basically, it's a base crit buff Lightcone that offers a 18% at base, 30% max, I believe, and also skills with speeds. For each 10 speed that's over 100, you gain increased damage on your basic attack and your skill, and also the crit damage of the ultimate is also increased. So this is a stacking buff, so it stacks up to 6 times. You can see how insane this essentially can get, and of course this reflects in the testing, and that's why in the Hunt's path, In the Night is absolutely at the top. So instead of breaking all of the characters down, I will go through the rest on this list, on my list, so that we're not here for another 20-30 minutes. But you can see here as well for this breakdown of the Zele, it's In the Night, and for example we have the other Yanking. In this list he's using his as the first ranking, but for everyone else, the Sushan here is In the Night, and for Danghang it is also In the Night. So straight up at the top, at the very top. Now the second best, so this is arguably, I would say, tied between Cruising in the Stellar Sea and Sleep Like the Dead, and across all of the different tier list recommendations, they are pretty much around the same, with the Yanking one slightly winning up top. And the reason why is Yanking's Lightcone gives you that extra crit damage boost, and if you don't crit, your next attack, the crit rate is increased by quite a bit. But personally, there are a lot of maths being done, and actually I want to lean towards this tier list where it places the free, yes you heard it, the free 5-star Lightcone as the second highest in the free S tier 5-star. So let's take a look at what I mean by free. So if you go into the game and you go into simulated universe, you'll be able to access the Herta store, and in the Herta store, that's right, you can exchange 3 different Lightcones, the base copy, and use Superimposer that you can get from the currencies to exchange and max them out easily. So for the hunt, the Cruising in the Stellar Sea is a fantastic Lightcone that is 5-star, and 5-star in this game means you have better stats when you're leveling them up. It's going to give a ton more HP, attack, and defense compared to a 4-star cone or a 3-star cone. Now, this Cruising the Stellar Sea increases the wearer's crit rate by a certain amount, and because you can max it to Superimposition 5, it's going to give you a whopping 60% base crit rate buff. And for enemies enemies with less or equal to 50% HP, that's another 16% on top. So you get a 32% crit rate. That's insane. And also when a warrior defeats an enemy, which again is syncing with Seele's kit, the attack is increased by 40% for 2 turns. So yeah, this is fantastic. And again, it's free because it's from the Herta store. So that's why a lot of the list actually ranks this, if not tied with Sleep Like the Dead, it's basically ranked on top of it because you can super imposition that unit, that Lightcone very easily. So those are the 5 stars that we have ranked. Now in the B or A tier, you can arguably say that because this is technically S tier, we have 2 4 stars. One is only silence remains and subscribe for more. That's the other one. So across all the different CN tier list, most rank the Danghang one, which is the silence one, higher. Okay, let's go back to the beginning for this one. Ranks it higher than the subscribe for more. So I believe I am in agreement with this. So this one, okay, if we take a look at the effect, it gives attack boost at max 32%, and also when there's less than 2 in terms of the enemy count on the field, you get also a crit rate buff. So initially, because you'll have gear issues in terms of you're not going to get a perfect substat, so stats like crit rate is going to be a bit tight on your characters as you are focusing more on the main stat of your gears. So any crit rate is definitely going to help your damage dealers, and this gives you attack, gives you crit rate, which is perfect. Now in one of the CN tier list, they ranked subscribe for more a bit higher. So this gives you damage increase on your normal attacks as well as your skills. Now in this game, damage increase will scale better than attack buff if we're looking at the same percentage. However, the downside to subscribe for more is that you get a max of 48% and also another 48% for a whopping 96%, but the second 48% only triggers if you have the energy filled, right? Your ultimate energy has to be at max and you're not using your ultimate. But as we know, for most of the characters, we actually will be using their ultimate. That's why for this tier list, it didn't even rank subscribe for more at all. Yeah, it's in the combat testing data, it's the subscribe for more is kind of low, so I'm almost hesitant to put it in the copium section. So the copium tier, following that, the C tier. The copium tier, we've got River Flows in Spring and Swords Play and Return to the Darkness. So these, if you have ones above it, please use them. Arguably not subscribe for more, but if you got the rest, well, River Flows, it's very, very difficult in the sense that it's not a bad cone if we think about it. It gives you a speed boost, it gives you a damage increase, both are quite decent. However, the downside to it is that if the caster or the user gets hit, then you lose all of these boosts. And you unfortunately only recover the bonus after your next turn ends. Now, for Seele, it's not that big of a deal because she gets so many turns, you can just recover from that. But for everyone else, it's not that great. Okay, so if we look at the other ones, the Return to Darkness, it's a weaker version of the Silence one from the Danghang one because you get the crit boost. You've also have the opportunity to dispel. So right now we don't have a lot of bosses that require the DPS to run dispel. So this again isn't the best in slot for your hunts because you're looking for damage. And lastly, the Swords Play is ranked a bit lower, even though for Sushan it's going to be ranked much higher. But as a 4-star, the Swords Play one gives you attack damage boost, increase a damage boost and stacks up to 5 times. But you need to attack the same target basically every single time. Okay, one thing you do need to know, and I have made a note here, River Flows in Spring is free. So this you can exchange in the Forgotten Memory store. And what I mean by that is if you head towards, here you go, I'll show you. If you head towards the guide and go into the Forgotten Hall and you teleport there, you exit out of the menu, go talk to the messenger and open up the shop, you'll be able to see all of these 4 stars that you can exchange. Some in there are actually really good, but River Flows in Spring is the hunt one that we're talking about, and you can of course superimpose this a lot easier, and you get a 12% speed buff and a 24% damage boost. Again, everything else does apply, but yeah, technically that's free, so you can get that superimposition 5. And the Return to Darkness, that is a free, well, technically not free, a battle pass 4-star cone that you can get. And of course, in every of these CN tier lists, I'll also include a 3-star as an option, but you really don't want to go to the 3 stars because the cones themselves, they have stats. And if you spend a lot of resources leveling up a 3-star cone, the stat it gives is going to be much, much lower. So I really don't recommend you using a 3-star cones. There will be exceptions, especially in the preservation part, which I'll talk about. But if you can't help it, switch to a 4-star, if not a 5-star cone. So this, again, is the Hunt's path, and this is compiled from the 3 CN tier list. Now, let's take a look at the preservation. So the preservation tier list, again, the reason why I chose Hunts into preservation is because most people obviously have a Hunt's DPS, and then most people have a preservation tank, either Gepard or Fire MC. Of course, Claire lovers, don't forget, you'll be covered in the upcoming videos as well, but those are the 2 paths I'm going to talk about at the moment. So for the preservation line, the best in slot is again the 5-star moment of victory. As you can see here, if we go into the protection part, 5-star, the moment of victory, and if we go into this tier list, it's going to be the same thing. If we can find the Gepard right here, and we'll load. We do go over the 4 stars as well, but if we just take a look at the 5-star options for Gepard, it is going to be obviously the moment of victory. So on this tier list, it's going to be the same. If we look at Gepard Kun right here, moment of victory. So anyhow, let's go down into the tier list summary. At the very top, a moment of victory, it's so damn strong because it's going to give you everything you need for the 2 tanks at the moment, which is you're going to get defense, and you're going to get hit effect for either the freeze, the taunt, and you also get another buff in terms of you're more likely to get attacked. You're more likely to get attacked by the enemy, and after you get attacked, you also gain more defense buff. So 2 stacks of defensive buff, a hit rate increase, and more chances for you to be attacked seems to be extremely strong. Okay, there's no way around it. This is absolutely broken, and the other 4 stars don't even really come close to how strong this is, but we'll talk about it. So in terms of the best 4 stars, you have Lando's Choice. Again, everyone else is in agreement here that Lando's Choice would be the second best one, and Lando's Choice increases the likelihood of you getting attacked, so again letting your tank do its job, and also it allows you to gain a damage reduction, which is not really common in the kits of the tanks, or it's not enough. So having that bonus is definitely helpful, making your tank basically a pseudo taunt, making it take more damage and having that damage reduction. Now for the other Lightcone, a lot of people are recommending the March 7th one, which if we go into the data bank of the game, we'll be able to see which one that is. And we'll take a look here. It's called Day 1 of My New Life. So this one increases the wearer's defense by 6%, and after entering the battle, increases the damage resistance of our allies. So not a bad cone at all. And of course, defensive buff is always great, and that's why you can see that in this tier list here, and we also have got the moment of victory into Lando's Choice into the defense buffing day 1 of my new life. Right, so again, everyone's in agreement. Best choice, moment of victory, Lando's Choice after, and the Day 1 of my new life. Now, this is a huge surprise, okay? Remember in the Hunts one, we've got a free S tier 5-star. Well, here, the Herta store has a 5-star as well for your preservation line, but do not exchange, it's not that good. But we have a 3-star god for the preservation line. This one, okay, I know I said that try not to exchange for it, especially because the stats for the 3-star cone is not great. However, if you're running 2 tanks, or you're running March 7th and plus another tank, because March 7th is a preservation unit, go for this Amber Cone. This Amber Cone is bonkers. We're going to assume you can get Super Imposition 5, because again, it is a 3-star cone, right? At Super Imposition 5, it gives you a 32% defensive buff And if your HP is lower than 50%, increase the defense by further. This is a 64% defense buff. Holy moly. I know, this is crazy. So even if you're having, less defense compared to a 4-star comb, this is still going to be a massive boost. Of course, it requires your HP to be a bit lower, but in comparison to the remaining ones, the copium 4 stars, I would definitely go for this 3-star over the other 4-star. And if we take a look at the tier list, every CN tier list at its current moment, this one doesn't really mention it, but here definitely makes a call and decides to include this in the recommendation. So again, it's your choice whether or not you want to commit to do a 3-star or just wait for a better 4-star. I don't think these are exactly free, versus the hunts ones you can just kind of exchange, but again, choices are available, and if you don't have anything, try the amber one. You don't have to commit too deep. Just super imposition 5 it and see what can it bring to the table. So anyhow, this has been quite a long video. I will share this in the link down below so you can see, but basically this is the CN compiled tier list for the hunts path as well as the preservation path, right? And they have a more extensive breakdown for each individual icon, but I don't want to drag this video on too long. We still have, obviously, in the next video covering the harmony, which are the supports, and the healers, which are very crucial to keep your team alive. Those two paths will be the next video, and following that we'll cover the rest, right? So let me know your thoughts and if you're joining these CM Bros content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye now.